Here, I'm Mark, and I'm doing a video about valium, about benzodiazepine. I was put on benzodiazepine 15 years ago. I was put on them to help me get off other drugs. And the benzodiazepine, the valium, turned out to be by far the worst drug I've ever tried to come off. The thing is with valium, they're very deceiving, because when you take them, you feel good. When you only take them for a little while, you don't. It's not really hard to come off. But all of a sudden, they turn on you. Like other drugs, I mean, heroin's not hard to stop if you're only doing it a little bit. But anything that you do every day, and your body starts to, rely on, and what happens is your brain chemistry changes and adapts to this medication, and then when you stop the medication, your brain goes haywire and takes a long time to get sorted out. Now, when I say takes a long time to get sorted out, I have come off, I'm not proud of it, but I've come off methadone, straight heroin, and Subutex, from full addiction, and within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, your chemistry starts to pretty much get back. You obviously have to cope with things. You haven't been learning to cope when you've been on, methadone and stuff. But, your chemistry adjusts very quickly. But with benzodiazepine, valiums, Xanax, Ativan, and Librium, and a host of other apins, your brain chemistry just takes a long time. You can take this stuff for anxiety and stop the anxiety. What it does is it works on a system in your brain called the GABA, and the GABA is what slows you down, what calms you down. That's the system. And what benzo does is acts on the GABA and acts for the GABA receptors, and what happens is, your brain stops making it and stops, and they shrivel up, these little receptor things, and then when you stop the benzos, you're going 150,000 miles an hour, and you've got nothing in your brain chemistry to stop it. And so then what happens is that, everything about you, this stuff gets really deep into the personality. Heroin doesn't. Heroin is compared to the benzos, is very sort of on the surface, but these benzos, it gets your memory, your thinking process, just your whole nervous system, everything that you feel is part of your nervous system. And when you come off the benzos, everything you feel is just distorted, a bit freaky. Worse than any acid trip. I'm now 7 months. It's been 7 months since I took my last benzo, and I'm still suffering. But I've still got a long way to go. But I definitely I wanted to do something for myself, really, just so that I know I've done something to warn anybody. If you're taking Valium every day, you're gonna have the worst time your life. You know, the worst possible time. It will screw your sleep, your eating, your memory, your motor functions, your personality, your self-perception, your perception, your hearing, your vision, your taste. Everything's a part of that nervous system, you know, and every you know, it all gets distorted. It all goes mental, you know, and mental. You will think that you're going mental. I mean, you know, I think pretty. I've got a pretty sound mind, and you know, I've lost it a few times, and the thing is, it's hard to know what's you and what's motivated by the withdrawals and the, you know, and you getting back and the recovery, and you know, you have to separate the two. And if I didn't know, like before I went into this, I was told that you will probably think you're having heart attacks because of the anxiety and panic attacks. You will probably think you've got a brain tumour or something. You'll get all hypochondriac, you'll think things are wrong with you, you'll worry, you know, and this worry just perpetuates, you know, and you worry about worrying too much, and just all gets really, really out of hand. And I think that, you know, people don't know this, so you have to know it. So I knew to not think about, you know, brain tumours and heart attacks, yeah. But, you know, so during withdrawals, what happens is you can't, everything messes you up. The depression, I've never known depression like it. I've never known, the depression, I can't even explain it. It's, you know, not so bad that you want to kill yourself, but it's like there's nothing you can do to make yourself feel good and feel happy. You know, you're not, you know, nothing gives you stimulant or pleasure. You're stimulated 24/7, but in a negative and very wrong way. So I tell you what, there's stuff like the brain fog. You can be talking, and if you stop for a second, you lose it. It's gone. Everything you were thinking is gone, and you get this brick wall, and you can't think. And that's a benzo thing. You get this thing called depersonalization, where you look at yourself in the mirror, and what you see isn't what you feel. You feel like a different creature altogether, different person, you know. There was in the first 2 or 3 months, I had sensations that would probably have frightened most people, but coming from a drug background, I'm kind of used to having weird feelings and stuff. So I mean, there was one time, I mean, just like sensations in the head and being dragged down, you know, just because your nervous system's gone and you're depressed as well. It makes for some strange stuff. And I was walking in. I mean, panic attacks. I mean, I got agoraphobia now. I mean, this is all part of the withdrawals, and I know it goes after, you know, a year or 18 months or whatever. But you know, I mean, I can't go out without feeling stuff that I don't want to feel. And but I do go out, but I have to feel things, feel anxious and feel stressed. Feel like everyone's looking at me. Feel that, you know, weird shit. Anyway, also, see, I'm getting that thing now. I've just lost it now. Yeah, panic attacks, social phobia. It is a nightmare. So, you know, I'm okay right now. I'm pretty relaxed right now. but you know, things, it comes and goes, and that's one of the difficult things in withdrawal, because you know, you can be all right for a day and really messed up for a week, and then all right for 2 days, and you think you're getting better, and then you've got another week of, you know, all goes wrong again, you know. And what's really difficult is the thinking, you know. Everything's negative thought after negative thought, you know, and it's like you're being battered by yourself. But you know, and then so you really have to really try and think positive thoughts, think the truth, you know, what's reality, you know. And I've learned, and probably anyone who's coming off valium will have learned, to ignore thoughts and move on really quickly, because you know, sometimes that's all you can do with them. You have to just move on as quick as you can and ignore it, and don't let it start a chain reaction. But yeah, so it's like, yeah, and also like when you're watching me personally, when I'm watching TV, I'm like, if you know, I'm too involved, you know, I'm emotionally involved, you know, and abstract, in an abstract way, like, you know, if two guys are having a fight, I feel like I'm, you know, it's in the room and I'm getting, you know, all tense, you know, and you know, and the tension is a big one, because you know, all in the back of the neck and in the head, you know, you know, you're tense, you've got tension, and it's not coming from anywhere. It's coming from the, you know, from the inner core of you, and it's not, you know, you can be, you know, in a bath, you know, relaxing music and that, you know, and that tension's still there. And when you go to bed, you know, you know, I get cramps in my neck and in my shoulders, you know, and just bottom of my feet. And I'm telling you all this stuff, you know, I mean, I don't really want the world to know what I'm going through, but, you know, if you're taking Valium and you've only been taking it for a little while, get off now, right now. I've come off 3 times. The 3 times I come off were detox units, and they made me come off within 2 weeks. And that's a bad thing to do to a person, you know. You know, you need to taper off, you know, in increments, you know, and get yourself off. There's a thing called the Ashton Manual, which is, you know, what I followed this time, you know, and it was really informative. You know, look it up, Heather Ashton. Yeah, get off quick, because you know, if you've got, you know, any underlying problems, you're just going to magnify it. You're going to, you know, any, you know, I mean, I took Valium for 15 years, and the first 2 years was nice. You know, I could relax, I could do what I want, say what I wanted, and relax. But, and then I had, you know, years and years where they didn't work, and I was getting my anxiety attacks and stuff, and I was taking all the meds, and I couldn't go out, and I had to go to you know, always had to be near a chemist. I couldn't, you know, whenever I went out, have I took my tablet, have I got it with me? And it's just like a ball and chain. You know, I've been in addiction all my life, but this diazepam is the mother of all addictions. Promise that. You know, I'm being completely straight. I mean, you know, I would trade, if I had to be addicted to something, I would, you know, trade anything for benzos, because rough ride. Well, yeah, so this is just a test video. It's not very good quality, just having a go. I didn't really know if I'd be comfortable enough to do this. I'll have a look at it and then upload it and see how it goes. Give us a comment, whatever. Alright, get off the benzos.